All right, guys, what's up? We're here at the shop today, and we have a visitor, Shawn Illingworth.
Yeah. Southside suicide, be yourself, ho. Say you get money, but you did it how you live. Told that bitch you better get up on my pants. Pick up breath, ass hoe with a face like this. You want the issue with no team, blow that most no team and tissue. I gotta try this so I can really do an interview. Don't come close to me, I'm not the one to really do it how it's supposed to be. Independent, tell the label to get over me. I'm over here with my kids, you bitch, point blank.
Sideways Shawn on Instagram, go check him out. So we're gonna ask him a couple questions about drifting, what makes him drift. But first, let's take a look at his car. He had it kind of under construction for the last season, but just rebuilt the motor. It's got a LS1 that's not, well, tell us more about the motor.
Supercharged, basically just LS1 5.7, smallest V8, but wanted to see what we can do, you know, make some serious power on the small boy. So.
But didn't you just build it up like, well, so it's same bore and stroke is what you're saying, but then it's like high compression and some other goodies inside, right?
Yeah, gapped rings and stuff just for like, you know, more boost and everything. Eagle H-beam rods, Crillo pistons, micro polished crank for windage. Everything's been cryo treated. It's just basically built for boost this time instead of being forced it, you know?
Perfect, cool. So he will be drifting with this once we get it up and going. We're gonna help him a little bit with some stuff he couldn't do. We're gonna do it here at the shop. And then when he gets it up and going, hopefully it's for round 1 of Top Drift in a couple weeks here. Then he's gonna be doing Pro-Am drifting and Top Drift. Gotta find somewhere to sit.
Next to a Supra.
Okay, we could just be inside the shop next to a Supra. Here's a Supra. Let's just stand here.
Done.
Okay, so what makes you drift, Shawn?
Honestly, I come from an off-road background, so like sliding around in the mud and stuff like that, it all kind of just like applies and transfers over into drifting. And then went to a racing school out in Arizona. Got to meet Corey Hosford, put me in Chris Forsberg's car, got to do a ride along, and after that, I've been pretty stuck.
That would be so. Like, I know kind of about your history with everything you said makes sense, like why you drift and everything, but I know about your history. These people do not, so tell us a little bit more. So you did off-road racing, and then tell us more about that.
Off-road was the most recent one. Before that, did like shifter karts, grew up doing quarter midgets, just kind of all, you know, oval tracks and stuff like that as a kid, and then that's when we moved up to shifter karts and started doing, you know, road course style. Really like that. It's pretty expensive, pretty aggressive drivers in that, you know. It was a good class to learn as a kid. And then off-road, like really caught my eye. Basically like jumping, seeing everyone crash, flip their trucks and stuff, you know. I really wanted to jump a car, so that was cool. And then drifting, really, after I got in a drift car, I just really realized where I wanted to be in I guess driving and motorsports, you know. And that's just kind of ever stuck ever since.
Cool. So, and I'm assuming like adrenaline. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, adrenaline for sure. Being in control but out of control is probably the coolest thing to ever do.
Yeah, and I think off-road is similar to that. So that's why when you're like, wait, we can do this in a car, let's do this. I never got to do off-road racing, but I know I would like it.
Oh yeah, you'd be good at it. You'd be sliding it the whole time, for sure.
For sure. So that's a little history on like what got him into drifting and why. So now I want to know what would be the hardest part about drifting for you, because usually we're gonna hear financially.
Yeah.
It's kind of what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
most everyone.
Yeah, if I didn't spend it on drifting, I'd be spending it on something else. So that's not really what I think about as a problem. I think mainly being consistent in drifting and throwing down like the same lap twice is probably the hardest thing for me. You know, like when you get that feeling like I just threw down the sickest lap and trying to, you know, redo that same exact lap. It's never really quite the same drifting versus, you know, time attack and stuff like that, where you can hit your apexes, you know, time and time again and just really break those laps down and get a faster time, you know? So I think that's kind of
drifting has like a thing that's like, it's almost like in the moment decisions, and there's no way to there is a way to replicate, but not really.
Not
It's
100%. Yeah.
No, and-
Everyone's a little different.
Yeah. And then that's what gives drifting like style, and like each driver has their own like character and style on the track. And then another fun thing, at least we're getting sidetracked, but for drifting for me is that when you're following someone, you can't, there's like zero predicting of any, you just threw like 15 other elements in, like, okay, now I gotta follow them and brake when they brake and the gas when they get, yeah. So
that's why you don't tandem with randoms.
don't tandem with randoms. That's true. Then you dent the side of your car.
Yeah.
That's never happened to me.
But tandeming is definitely the funnest part of drifting. Yeah.
Definitely is. That's what, like, once you start drifting and then you're like, oh, this is so much fun, so much adrenaline. Then the day that you like finally get tandeming under your belt with another friend, you're like, oh my gosh.
Oh, you do search for people after.
You're like, there's a whole new element to this.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
the best part.
Okay, one more question. No, a couple more questions. But next question would be, what's the biggest sacrifice that you maybe replaced something else? I guess you kind of said, hey, I would have spent the money elsewhere, but like that wasn't a sacrifice.
I guess like
because mine would be time.
Yeah, I mean time is definitely one of them, but maybe like going out and kind of like partying with your friends and like vacations, stuff like that. I guess kind of save that money and put it more into my cars and like the driving program, I guess. Then like go and have cool vacations or like cool fun weekends like in different spots,
Yeah.
So, but it's worth it, I think, just because of the experiences you get at the track with your friends versus like random days at the bar with your homies, I guess.
Yeah, you're still getting experiences, just different ones, I guess. But yeah. Or like long nights working on your car or getting ready to get to the
I like prepping it though. That's like part of the fun, I feel like, is like getting ready for the track and getting all your stuff going and having to meet those deadlines for broken parts and shit. I think that's all part of the experience, kind of too.
Yeah, because once you make it happen and you're there and you're like, oh, it's worth it.
All worth it, yeah.
Exactly. So I was gonna ask you, well, I'm gonna ask you anyway, but we kind of answered it already. Like, do you see competitive drifting in your future, or since you already did competitive racing on the dirt, and then now you jumped into drifting immediately, you had competition in mind.
Yeah.
What would be like some of the reasons why? Like, what would have kept you from not doing competition or not competing versus competing? And then, are you gonna go further than the level you're at right now?
Yeah. Well, I guess with how everything that we're building the car, I would say that we're definitely building it to go pro, because that's the goal. Like, I mean, I feel like all of us want to go pro, but I feel like maybe at the end of the day, some of us, you have to dedicate yourself a little more for that extra last step, and honestly, that's all I want to do is go pro. So I'm willing to like basically put it all on the line if I have to, like I want to make it. So it's whatever you got to do to make it. You got to do.
I know the feeling. I did that. Well, I don't think everyone wants to go pro, because I asked certain people and they're like, oh, maybe that just seems stressful. Like, but people like me or you, it's like,
that's all I
why
care
would
about.
we even like? Of course we have to go pro.
Yeah.
Like, why else would we be
That's why
doing
we're
this?
doing it. Yep. I love that.
It's like so addicting, the competition. I don't know. How could you not want to do it? Yeah. Well, tell us like a little more about like, so when you in the community of drifting, like you make friends and then all of a sudden you like link with all these other people and like they don't know about Shawn, so tell them a tiny bit about Shawn. Like Shawn, I could say a little bit like how you started wrapping cars and you helped like keep my competition car like looking pretty in times. Shawn's been there for me when I needed help. He helped me. But like tell us a little bit about that.
Well, basically, the rapping at first was just, just a job, it's like doing commercial stuff and like that, and it kind of led into like telling friends like Dan or, other drift friends and stuff like, oh yeah, we can do cars and stuff like that as well. And then it kind of just like spiraled into doing friends' cars, and then full liveries, and then, team designs, and, getting to work on cool pro cars like the Supra. That's probably my favorite thing about last year.
And didn't you do Alex?
Yeah, we did Alex Hebron's wrap last year. We're doing his wrap this year. We did the wrap for their E90 Pandem M3 that was at SEMA.
Nice.
Done a few projects with Alex. He's a really good client and badass driver, so that's fun. And I do projects for him.
So that's kind of cool, because like I met Sean through owning a shop, and then like we became friends, and I was helping him like at the track and like be like, hey, you know, not a spotter, but like kind of in a way, I was like, hey,
for sure,
try and put your car here, do this. And then Sean ended up coming to help me twice or 3 times last year. For sure, you were like, we needed you 100% twice at the track, or like my season wouldn't have been the same last year, and he was there. It's like, so drifting is like a small community of people, but we all kind of have our hands in something else, helping one another. So Sean's someone you need to like look up, learn more about. He's a good guy. Follow him on his journey to pro drifting, because he's gonna make it. I know he'll make it. Last question.
That's it.
What makes you rad, Sean?
What makes me rad? Can hang out with this guy.
Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for watching another episode of What Makes You Drift. Don't forget to subscribe. Buy some rad merch on the website. See you guys.
Later.